Disruption, a familiar feeling in airports across the country.
I was pretty anxious about it. I'm very tired. I want to get home now to my normal life.
Over the weekend, thousands of the world's best-selling passenger aircraft, the Airbus A320, were grounded because of an onboard software issue, causing lines, delays, cancellations and frustration.
In Australia, there is a big feeling of here we go again.
Some of our Airbus operated flights have been cancelled.
Not to be a drama queen or anything like that, but my anxiety went through the roof.
For Sydney-sider Andy Pachkova, who booked her art trip to Tasmania through third-party site Expedia, it was full of stress.
I was told on the phone by the young gentleman that it would take about 2 business days for Expedia to either email me or call me.
Stuck in Hobart, she ended up paying $1,500 for a Qantas business class seat home so she could make an important family commitment.
This is a lot of money that wasn't budgeted for. And it's, we're talking about the month of December. So it will have to come out from somewhere. It will have to come out from the Christmas budget.
The software issue in question was part of the aircraft's flight control system, which calculates the plane's elevation. This issue was first picked up back in October on a JetBlue flight between the US and Mexico when the aircraft suddenly lost altitude.
When it was supposedly flying straight and level, for some reason the flight control system commanded the aircraft to descend, and that's not what you want to have happen when you're trying to avoid other aircraft or other things in the sky and fly straight and level when the service is being delivered and passengers are moving around in the cabin.
15 people were injured. The flight needed to make an emergency landing in Florida. Airbus says recent analysis of the event revealed intense solar radiation may corrupt data critical to the functioning of flight controls.
There's been an increase in solar flare activity over the last little while, and what apparently happened was an aircraft experienced a sudden influence on its flight control system.
Keith Tonkin is an aviation expert and consultant.
I can imagine that Airbus has diligently and thoroughly tried to understand what caused the situation to occur via the airline and its own systems and processes, and sometimes that may take some time.
Airbus says most of its affected aircraft needed a simple software update, which takes about 3 hours. However, some of the older versions of the aircraft will need to have onboard computers physically replaced.
The A320 family is very widespread. We know that there are about 11,000 aircraft and about 6,000 of those were affected.
I think the authorities in Europe and the manufacturer have done a great job in identifying this issue very promptly. They've issued a directive within 24 hours of the anomaly being identified.
In Australia, budget airline Jetstar was most affected. More than a third of its fleet was grounded, around 90 flights cancelled.
Our concern was, why didn't they just text us in the morning? Because we were all aware there was issues with aircrafts around the world, not just here.
One of the key metrics of an airline is how they deal with those disruptions and how they bring their customers back to the flight that they were supposed to be on or to where they were going as soon as they can.
Jetstar says by Sunday the software update was completed on all its aircraft. The company provided impacted passengers with meal vouchers, transport and overnight accommodation where necessary.
I'm also hoping that, Jetstar would be okay with reimbursing. I know that they would be reimbursing people for the hotels and, taxis and all that travel.
I expect Jetstar would take the view that it wasn't within their control. That was something to do with the aircraft manufacturer and an external event. And it would be arguable that they've recovered relatively quickly in the circumstances.
As it stands right now, if there is a cancellation that is not within the airline's control, there is no obligation to provide a refund. They have got every right to just give a credit to the customers.
Adam Gleeser, a consumer advocate, believes customers are not likely to be entitled to compensation from the weekend's A320 event.
Since COVID, there's been a lot of Australians that have said enough is enough. We're sick of being treated like this, and we actually need some decent protections put in place.
The federal government is working on establishing an aviation consumer ombud scheme next year, which includes an ombudsman to handle complaints and a regulator to enforce minimum standards.
I think that they are trying to sell it to the Australian public that it is going to have massive benefits, where in actual fact, the main issues have not even been broached.
Adam Gleeser believes the scheme needs to go further and include compensation for affected customers.
The fact that they are not even looking at compensation for delayed and cancelled flights is a real worry, and to me it shows exactly where their priorities lie.
In 2025, one issue on one aircraft can reverberate around the world, and with the busy holiday season upon us, airlines and their customers will be hoping for a problem-free December.